Hello everyone, just wanted to shoot a quick video, I hope it's pretty quick anyway, of me making a mask that was supposed to have a rhinestone decal in front that said hashtag social distance. Didn't quite work out that way. I ended up doing baby bling, which is, sort of a faux rhinestone effect, which is actually probably better because rhinestones have lead, and I probably don't want to be wearing that on my face. Here I'm cutting out the straps for the mask, and they are about, where did I cut those at? 17, 17, so they're like 32, oh my gosh, I can't add, 34 inches each. I'll fold those at the end, and then I'll do like a double fold bias tape kind of effect to make my straps, which I'll kind of show you later in the video. Sorry, the audio got messed up, so I'm having to do a voiceover, and I am hoping that the dogs do not start barking before this is over. They usually make an appearance by voice. Here are the materials I used. I had 1 fat quarter of black cotton fabric. Can't find any black cotton fabric right now without a hassle or having to order it. I used a scrap piece of white muslin. That is the rotary cutting tool for the Cricut Maker. And that's what I'm going to use to cut the fabric. And that is the fabric marker pen, also for the Cricut. So we're in Cricut Design Space. I've already uploaded my pattern, and there it is. The square piece, excuse me, that blue square, that is the pattern piece for the pocket part, where you'll be able to insert the filter afterwards. That pattern is actually a half pattern. So if I were cutting it out by hand, and if both layers were going to be the same color, and I'm not talking about the pocket part right now, I'm talking about the mask pattern part, I would put that on the fold and cut it so that it's more in one piece. But here I'm just cutting one piece, and what I've done just now is turn that black layer into the layer that's going to be drawn by the marker pen as my sewing line. Okay, so that will draw on the fabric, and then the blue layer is actually what we'll cut. Okay, then I'm going to go over and get my rhinestone template for hashtag social distance. I did end up enlarging this in the end, because cutting it that small, it was terrible to weed. So the decal did end up being larger than is pictured here once it was done. I used the Maker setting for cutting holographic iron-on material to cut the social distance. To cut the pattern pieces, of course, I used the fabric grip mat. Had a little overhang, didn't feel like undoing that whole thing, so I just cut that piece off. No biggie. In the machine it goes, and here what we will see is the Maker draw out what will actually be my sewing line, not my cutting line. It'll draw out my sewing line, and then it'll cut the fabric piece. Gosh, I sound really raspy today. Sorry. There, it's all drawn out, and then the rotary tool will cut it. But I may have cut that part out of the video. But trust me, the rotary tool cut it out. That's what's going on now. The rotary tool is cutting the pattern piece out. Now, I'm only cutting one layer on the Maker because I would only cut one layer on the maker anyway. If I were going to make both layers of the mask the same fabric, then I would have cut it using my hand rotary tool, and I would have cut that pattern on the fold. So, because I marked my sewing line, instead of cutting the black piece out first, I am just going to pin this piece to the black piece. And then I'm going to sew the two together along the sewing line. And then I will cut the excess black fabric off and flip it inside out. I feel like I should have some background music, but I don't quite know how to do that. Let's see. Here I am sewing together the two sides of each strap. I can't talk, sorry. And now I'm going to sew the two layers of mask together, leaving a gap for sewing. I'm sorry, leaving a gap for turning after it's all sewn. Okay, there it's all sewn. Let's cut this baby out. Any day now. Oh, I sure do cut like an old lady. Because I am an old lady. Proud to be an old crafting lady. Okay, so voila! Now it's cut. And I left that little gap open so that I can turn it right side out. Poof, it's turned. Fold in those little edges. It looks kind of ugly right now, but that's okay. You take it over to the iron and push it all out. Wow. Sorry, the dogs are making an appearance. Anyway, here I'm just showing you how I did the bias tape type straps with those fabric strips that I cut out. Didn't realize I filmed that much of it. Sorry. Okay, there's the mask all nice and pretty and ironed out. Now I'm going to take a piece of pipe cleaner. You're looking for the pipe cleaner. Okay, before I do the pipe cleaner thing, that little pocket piece that I cut out, here I am just going to, I would normally serge around the edges, but I don't feel like getting the serger out, so I'm going to use my overlock foot and do an overlock stitch around the edges of that to keep it from fraying. Okay, now I've got my little piece of, what's that thingy? Pipe cleaner. I've got my pipe cleaner. And I'm going to sew it into that top part where I left the turning opening. And stick it inside there and sew it up. And that's going to allow me to bend that piece. That's the top of the mask. I'll be able to bend that piece across my nose, the bridge of my nose. Okay, and there's a little pocket part, and here I'm thinking, may as well kill two birds with one stone. I could have also sewn that in when I was sewing the other two pieces together, but this way is easier for me. So that's why I did it that way. Now, pop that baby on the machine. There we go, the pocket part sewn on. Now I am folding it in on each side, clamping it down, and I'm going to stitch. I don't know why I'm sorry, I missed something. I edited some footage out, but it's sewn just slightly along those little folded edges. And then here I'm folding the pieces back on themselves at the top and the bottom. And that little puffy thing in the middle is the pocket part for a filter sticking out. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just getting this ready. I'm going to sew the fabric straps in there, so that's why I'm just kind of checking how the fabric, how those ends lay over, just to make sure they're as even as they can be. Grab the straps, open them up, and there I'm just trying to find the center of that strap. I'm going to place the center of the strap opened out across the center of that edge before I fold it over and sew. I can't get it in focus. Sorry. Come on, this video is supposed to be quick. Sorry, guys. Okay. Then I'm going to fold that baby over there. And then I'm going to clip. Once I'm satisfied with placement, I'm going to clip those ends shut on both sides. And I'm going to sew. I start at the bottom of the strap and sew all the way up down to the other end. And then I do the same thing to the other side. Now, the mask, the mask is done. You can see the little pocket part in the back. I like these 3D masks. I've been playing around with different mask patterns, and I really like these. They're calling them 3D masks. Okay, so now I'm going to press my Baby Bling faux, we call it Baby Bling because it's a faux rhinestone design. Those aren't actual stones. That's a holographic HTV that I used instead. And as you can see, as I told you earlier, I enlarged it because when I tried to weed it, when the design was smaller, I almost lost it. So, and I'm using the Cricut Easy Press to press this onto it because my big press is at the studio and I'm being a bum at home, staying home like I'm supposed to. I believe that's at 320 degrees for 20 seconds. And voila. And then I just need to wait on it to cool and I can peel it off. Hashtag social distance. There we go. And I made this one for myself. I don't think I'm going to be making this one again just because even though that design was easier to weed than when I made it smaller, it was still too much of a hassle for me to weed. I'd have to use a different font. I used a rhinestone font from the Rhinestone World to make it to begin with. And then instead of using stones, I did Baby Bling, which allowed me to change the size of it without having to worry about a stone size because you're using HTV. But I think I'll use a thicker font if I do that again. Just because it was, I like this one. It's cute. I'm going to love wearing it. But it really was kind of a pain. I do like how this mask turned out. Again, I used a 3D face mask pattern And I just took the pattern and adapted it for use with Cricut so that Cricut could help me with cutting. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope y'all are staying safe. There's a little pocket part for any kind of filter I might want to put in there. Anyway, that was my project for today. Happy stoning, y'all. Bye-bye.